Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane Kay. First, I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to all. Have a wonderful day, have a great holiday, be happy, be merry, be safe, be in joy, be in peace. Let's get into it. Part 1 of the Sister Wives Talk Back special. Right away, right from the get-go, you can just tell from Robin's face, from her expressions, from her way of carrying herself, that she really doesn't want to do this. She really looks like she is in a hostage video, like she is really just there, completely out of obligation. You can tell her heart's not in it. She doesn't want to be there. She seems very frustrated at Cody. She really isn't down. Everyone is just doing the same song and dance as usual. Robin with the playing dumb and clueless, Cody lying about his family, Cody blaming his family rather than taking accountability himself, Cody rewriting history, Cody playing the victim, Robin playing the victim. It's the same dance, same song, different day. It's like Groundhog Day watching these episodes. Nothing will ever change with these people. And it is kind of boring, honestly, to watch the same script on repeat over and over again. Groundhog Day. The best part of the episode was a couple of the viewer questions. I think they also could have picked some better questions. I do want to say this. I was so happy to see how happy Christine was. She had on her happy face slippers. She had her wine in tow, and she was stoked to sit down and watch this episode. And she came in just with a great attitude, and you could just see the happiness exuding, emanating from this person. She is so happy and at peace in her life, and you can tell. And I think everyone is just so happy to see her that way. Free from Cody with the love of her life, David. Christine explains that she wasn't legally married to Cody. And so she believes that because she and Cody weren't legally binded together, they were just married spiritually, she, considered herself divorced because there was no real legal process to go through. And Christine also clarifies that she never kicked Cody out of her house completely. She just told Cody that he wasn't welcome in her bed anymore. Mary says, looking back, that it's weird because Cody is a different person. Mary thinks that's the biggest contrast between old photos of Cody, old photos of she and Cody now. It's like a different person. A viewer asks Cody if he would ever have a different hairstyle. And Cody explains that his hair has been 5 different ways since the show started. And Robin laughs her head off at this question. She knows what a diva Cody is about his hair. He knows how into himself Kotex is. Cody explains all his different hairstyles, and Robin reveals that she taught Cody how to scrunch his curls. Listen, if Robin's sausage curls are any indication of her hairstyling prowess, it's no wonder that Cody now sports the ramen look. A viewer asks Janelle if she could tell her younger self one thing, what would that be? She wants to know. And Janelle says there were a lot of things that she didn't pursue. There were a lot of educational opportunities she didn't pursue. And Janelle also says with setting boundaries in her relationships, like with setting boundaries in her relationships with her sister wives. Janelle says she was always so afraid to rock the boat. And now she looks back and she thinks she would have told herself to just be brave and to rock the boat and to have those tough conversations. Good for Janelle. We really see Janelle grow as a person on the show. And we know from Becoming Sister Wives that Janelle was very non-confrontational. She would do whatever she could to avoid confrontation. And now she wishes she rocked the boat a little. She wishes she was able to have those tough conversations and stand up for herself. Christine points out how Janelle's house in Flagstaff was small, and she asks viewers if we see the comparison in how huge Robin's house is in contrast. She explains that Robin's house is huge, and Janelle's house is not even a house, it's a trailer. Yes, and let's also remember that a large chunk of Mary and Janelle's Vegas home proceeds went to Robin and Cody so that Robin and Cody could purchase that house. So the roof that Robin and Cody and their kids live under was largely paid for by Mary and Janelle. They wouldn't have been able to secure that house if not for the Vegas home proceeds that Mary and Janelle were able to give them. So off the backs of this ex-sister wives, Robin and Cody get to live. In this episode, Janelle is discussing COVID and Christmas and how the boys were wanting their dad back and how they were upset, and the boys were asking Robin for their dad back, and Cody was wanting the apology. And in the episode clip, Robin is saying that she never asked for an apology, and Cody makes no movement to fix things, and Cody also tries to rewrite history and villainize Janelle for the millionth time, saying that she is the one who told the boys they weren't welcome at his house. Cody says that's what Janelle's narrative is regarding him, and that's how Janelle has betrayed him to his boys. Cody said he did not want anyone around who didn't make him feel loved, who he didn't feel loved him. And Robin also was saying she didn't want fights and everything had to be discussed and ironed out before everyone would be welcome to gather as a family. And Cody also said the boys couldn't be there without an apology, and then the apology changed to a conversation, which would still have been a capitulation, as Christine states later. So now Cody is blaming Janelle for telling the boys exactly what he told her to tell them. He told Janelle many times on camera that the boys needed to apologize. The boys needed to kiss the ring. They needed a conversation. The apology then became a conversation, which in the end would just turn out to be an apology anyway. And then Cody made absolutely no effort to communicate with his boys. The boys weren't welcome, and even when Mary was planning Christmas Eve at her house, she herself considered inviting Janelle and the kids. And Robin and Cody really tried to dissuade Mary and turn her off to that idea. Robin said she worried there would be fights unless things were discussed first, so she preferred not to have them, even at Mary's house. And Cody said he just wanted to be around the people who he knew loved him, basically Robin and her kids. So now Cody is making it seem as if Janelle is the bad guy who miscommunicated to her boys to turn them against him. That's not the case. Listen, Janelle did everything she could from her side as a mother to try and facilitate a healthy relationship with Cody and all of her kids. Cody is the one who made no effort, and Cody created hoops to jump through and shifting goalposts. And then he even gave Janelle the ultimatum, me, our marriage, or the boys. You decide. So Cody doesn't get to now turn this on Janelle and blame her. He is the one who made it crystal clear that his boys weren't welcome at his house at Christmas unless this, and this was done. He was the one who initially stated his boys were to apologize to he and to Robin, and he is the one who then changed it last minute to a conversation, even though it's just semantics. And in the end, whether he calls it an apology or a conversation, in the end, Cody expected the boys to bow down to him. And the boys weren't welcome unless they had that conversation with their dad, which their dad never initiated, expecting his sons to crawl to him and grovel when he, as the father, should be the one on his knees, apologizing, trying to win back his son's love and trust and reconnect those relationships and mend those bridges. Cody should be the one on his knees apologizing, praying he doesn't lose every single person in his family and every relationship he has with every person who actually loves him and has his back through his toxic behavior, emotional abuse, and neglect of them. Christine explains that talking to Cody means what he wants is an apology, whether it's talking or a conversation or whether it's called an apology. What he wants is an apology. And Christine says this isn't a conversation that he wants to have. He wants to have a capitulation, and he wants the boys to agree to do whatever he says, and then they will be welcome to come back and they would be welcome in his home. Christine says the thing is, they have all raised really strong, amazing kids who have a voice. Yes, and all the moms definitely did a good job. All of the OG3 kids are independent, they thrive, they're happy in their lives, They have stable relationships. They have stable work. They feel fulfilled. They have lots of friends. They have good lives. They feel good about themselves. They feel good about their lives, and they know who the fuck they are, and they don't back away from that. And that is a testament to the moms who taught the kids to be themselves, to think for themselves, to take ownership, to take accountability, because God knows they didn't learn any of that shit from their father. Christine really hit the nail on the head. All Kody cares about is having control and his ego and feeling like he's the one in charge. He's about power dynamics and control. He wants to always feel like he's the one people bow down to. Next, during the episode rewatch, Kody bitches that he is very tender about his divorce with Christine. And Janelle, at this point, is leaving him for the holidays. She has her own plans. No surprise, her boys aren't welcome. She wants to be where she feels loved, not where she feels like you have to walk on eggshells and you could cut the tension with a knife. Janelle points out about this scene. She says it's so interesting to her that Kody is saying that he's hurt over the divorce with Christine when he was telling Janelle for years that things were bad with Christine. He was telling her that he didn't want to be physically intimate with Christine anymore. So Janelle can't understand how in the world Kody can sit here and say, oh, he's so hurt by this divorce. A viewer asks Christine why Kody is so angry, why he can't just let her go when he, at this point, when the viewer asked the question, had 3 other wives. And Christine says she didn't know Kody loved her so much. Christine says she had no idea he loved her that much. And she says it's very sweet when you think about it, because Kody wouldn't be so mad if there wasn't so much love that was lost. He's mad because he looks like a fool and he hurts for his ego, for his pride, for his optics. This is nothing to do with love lost. He's mad because he's exposed. Christine exposed him. He's masked off now, and it has zero to do with love. Kody is angry for himself, for his optics, and his hubris is damaged. That's all that is. Now, Kody complains that Janelle isn't supporting him through the tender emotions of his divorce, even though he has been an ogre. He wants Janelle to tell him that she supports him. Now, Janelle wonders where that is. She wonders where that is from Kody to her. The I love you. I support you. I understand what you're going through. Janelle smiles and she says it's all about him and his supposed hurt that he has over this divorce. And Janelle astutely says that she thinks it's Kody's ego more than anything. Amen. Yes. Preach, Janelle. It's Kody's ego. Tell it like it is, Janelle. It is. It's all about Kody. It's all about his ego. I'm glad she said it. In the rewatch episode, Kody and Janelle are arguing over the vacation rental with Christine, and Janelle is explaining that it would be a neutral zone for the holidays, how Christine is visiting, Christine is bringing his daughters, the kids for Kody to see, and Kody explains, well, he has his house. If the kids want to see him, they can see him there at his house. Christine says it's absolute rubbish because the kids were not all welcome in his house. And Janelle comments that Kody mentions his house. Kody refers to Robyn's house as his house, and that's the only house he owns. His house is Robyn's house. Janelle feels it's like Kody didn't have other houses to go to or other wives with other houses. It didn't matter at all to Kody where the rest of his wives lived. They weren't his houses. Kody's house was Robyn's house. That's the only house he took ownership of and felt that was his. Janelle totally caught that Robyn's house with him is his house. That's the only house Kody feels is his home. The other homes he doesn't really consider to be his at all. And that's just like Kody with his kids. With Kody's other kids, it's always Janelle's kids or Christine's kids or her kids. Only Robyn's kids does Kody ever refer to as his kids or our kids or my kids. With Robyn's kids, he never refers to them as, oh, Robyn's kids. Only Robyn's kids does Kody ever take ownership of as a parent. And it was the same with his home too. Janelle says Kody has his house and he makes it clear And that says a lot. Yes, his house with Robin. And it does say a lot, especially being a plural husband in a plural family. Cody bitches in this rewatch episode that Janelle doesn't do things with him. She doesn't do things with the family, but she will go off with Christine who left him. Mary comments on this. Mary finds it amusing. Mary says that Cody seems so shocked. It's like he's floored by it, like he doesn't understand it. Mary says that Cody has been doing the exact same thing to her. She feels Cody doesn't recognize it, or maybe Cody recognizes it and he just doesn't care. But Mary finds that very interesting. Now, there's a photo of Coyote Pass. It's built up with skyscrapers way in the future, with Coyote Pass still unbuilt in the foreground amidst these skyscrapers. And Cody admits, well, they may never build. Wow, what a shocker. All I can say is I hope that they resolve it and that Janelle is able to disentangle some of her financial assets and some of her finances and her credit and stuff from everyone else, and that they're able to get that taken care of so that she can leave and move on and start a life. And hopefully she can find an equal partner to her who loves her and adores her just the way she is, who can also have intellectually stimulating conversations with her, which is her deal and what she's into. And I really hope she finds someone equally yoked to her who's just as ambitious as she is and just as intelligent as she is, who can invest in her in the same way she would invest in them. In this next rewatch scene, Janelle and Christine are talking about the holidays, and Janelle explains how Cody insists on having a conversation with the boys. So they're just going to have to do Christmas separate because Cody won't allow his sons there unless they have that conversation. So Christmas is going to be separate, of course. Cody has to comment, of course. He has to do what he can for his optics. And Cody twists shit as usual. He takes zero accountability and he deflects and he projects and he blames his evil ex-wives for misinterpreting things. Cody says that Janelle was the one who wanted to be separate and she was trying to put it all on him, blaming him for wanting to be separate. And Cody says Janelle didn't want to have Christmas with him. He didn't want to have Christmas with Mary or with Robin. So Cody says Janelle would rather have the separate Christmas with Christine. So Janelle was the one making this excuse about the boys. Obviously, we know that's bullshit. And Cody's delusional if he believes the diarrhea he spews out of his mouth. And he also is really underestimating the intelligence of his family, his ex-wives, his kids, and the viewers too. People don't like people who underestimate everyone and assume that they're more intelligent and that their bullshit and lies that contradict each other every fucking day are gonna fly. At this point, really, Cody just looks pathetic and he looks like an idiot and he looks like a coward. And all the bullshit excuses he made just make him look even worse. Even more like the devil he thinks he is now. Robin asks Cody if that is what Janelle said, if Janelle told him what Cody is now projecting. And Cody says no, that's his interpretation of what happened. Interpretation or delusion? This is Cody deflecting, doing bullshit, making excuses to spin his optics because he knows he is the one who asked for a conversation or an apology. He knows that his boys weren't welcome and he doesn't want to look like the bad guy. He doesn't know how to talk his way out of it, so he just straight up lies on his ex-wife. Cody can try to spin his optics all he wants, but it just makes him look more like a loser. Cody explains that as he sat here watching their episodes, he has seen that Janelle is just punching a button specifically to make him look bad with the family. Projection much? Cody says it's all about Janelle. Robin asks, really in a dumbfounded tone, oh, you didn't want to do Christmas separate? And Cody says no. Robin plays dumb. She asks, oh, why did Janelle keep saying that? Why did she keep saying that then? This playing dumb, honestly, when these two watch themselves back and they watch their behavior and they watch how disingenuous they are and all the bullshit that they do, how do they feel good within themselves that their performance was convincing? These people are so deluded that they have to believe their lies at this point. Kody breaks it down for Robin, who's dumbfounded, who just doesn't understand why Janelle would go say that Kody wants to do Christmas separate. And so Kody breaks it down for her. And Kody says that Janelle is saying that to the boys to get them on her side. He goes on that Janelle is specifically trying to destroy his character with his family. Kody's behavior speaks for itself. No one has to speak on Kody's behavior. Just Kody living and behaving and being the person he is and acting the way that he does and saying the shit that he says shows us all where the fuck this man's character is. And it's in the dirt, in the pig shit, stuck in the mud on the bottom of his shoe. This man doesn't have any character. His wives don't need to talk shit because the way he acts says all that anyone would need to say. Guys, Kody is the victim here, and Kody is the one being made small by everyone, by his ex-wives, by his kids, by his family, just so they can feel good about treating him so shitty. Just like he posited during the one-on-one special, where he suggested that his ex-wives talk shit on him to make him feel small so that they can feel better about the shitty way they treat him. Projection much? Obviously, no one is demonizing Kody to gain influence with the kids or win them over. Kody's behavior speaks for itself. And Kody's kids aren't little kids. They're all adults, basically. Kody needs to take accountability for his toxic, abusive, neglectful behavior. And Kody needs to realize he really is his own worst enemy. What showed the low caliber, the low quality man he is, the low moral man he is, the low consciousness man he is, what has revealed that Kody is in fact the bad guy is Kody's own toxic behavior. And Kody is still engaging in toxic behavior now, vilifying his ex-wife, trying to put his toxic behavior on her and blame her for it, when he knows it's his own behavior that got him here and he is accountable and he is responsible for it. It's incredibly toxic for Kody to now be projecting his own bad behavior onto Janelle. Kody made it clear that the boys weren't welcome in his home without this conversation. He made it very clear he didn't even want to talk to them or really be around them. And now he wants to blame Janelle, the mother of his kids, for what he said and what he did, as if it's on her, as if he's the victim. More toxic behavior from Kody will not help this. This man's optics are never going to be helped by more toxic behavior and lying and twisting and spinning. Yet all Kody tries to do is keep covering and twisting and rewriting history to deflect, to gaslight, to project, to blame, to spew delusions, to act based off a sick-minded paranoia he has in his head, blaming the mothers of his kids, projecting his own toxic behavior onto them, deflecting, shirking responsibility for his own bad deeds, for his own bad behavior. That will not get him one step closer to a better relationship with any of his kids. If Kody really wants that, the first step is Kody taking full ownership and full accountability. And it's too bad his ego is in the way and that his idiot wife enables him and facilitates his toxicity. I don't know if Kody said fucking sister wife or shit sister wife, but he said something and Robin is rolling her eyes. She's annoyed as fuck and she tells Kody to stop when he cusses. She tells Kody he needs to stop making it about the sister wives. And Kody says they had a family. The family was working together, and now they are trying to blame he and Robin. And Kody says in Vegas, they were all working together. And Robin tells Kody he always points out the sister-wife relationships, but he never talks about his own actual issues with his wives in the private marriages. And Kody asks if Robin means things like lack of loyalty, like his problem with them. So instead of Kody maybe taking some accountability, he wants to put more on his wives and talk about the problems that he had with them, that he felt that they had a lack of loyalty. Robin is right about one thing. Kody needs to stop blaming the bad sister-wife relationships and start taking accountability for his own behavior in his individual failed marriage relationships. Robin even knows Kody is the reason this didn't work out, that his marriages didn't work out. But he wants to blame the sister-wife relationships and that dynamic and deflect instead. Robin tells Kody lack of loyalty is different. She tells him that he needs to stop pointing fingers at sister wives. And Kody says he says sister wives in terms of the bigger family, the whole family picture. Kody says it's not just his picture, it's the whole family picture for him. And Robin is frustrated. She just rolls her eyes. I think she knows he's hopeless. Do you guys remember in Galveston when Kody and Christine went with their therapist on that anniversary trip, and they were supposed to focus on just Christine and Kody and their personal, private, individual marriage, not on the whole family? It was really supposed to be focusing on their individual marriage and on their anniversary and on celebrating that. And Kody kept railroading it and making it about the whole family. And he was railroading the Rock Tower assignment, making it about the whole family rather than just about he and Christine and their relationship. And Kody just did that to Robin here. Kody was blaming the shitty sister wives and the shitty sister wife relationships for why his family didn't work, for why his marriages didn't work. It's Janelle and Christine's fault that he has bad relationships with his kids. It's always someone else's fault. And his weak-minded kids can't think for themselves. They're influenced by the sister wives, according to Kody. So much so that they have to be spoon-fed by their moms to form their own opinions when they're grown-ass adults with independent lives. They're thriving in the world. They can think for themselves. When Robin tries to shift Kody away from deflecting and blaming his failed marriages on the sister wives, and she was suggesting maybe he needed to focus more on the individual relationships, the private marriages, his part in those separate from the sister wives dynamic, separate from the plural dynamic, and Kody refused, he told Robin that it was all about the big family. It wasn't about that. Yes, Kody is only about the big family when it suits him to avoid taking any accountability. The big family, the family he labeled the obstacles to his goals in life. Now he's sitting with Robin on their ugly couch in their ugly McMansion paid for by Janelle and Mary. And Robin is telling Kody, don't blame the sister wives for the failed marriages. It's on the marriage relationship itself. Basically, Kody has a part in all of it. He has a part in his whole big family falling apart. He has a part in each individual marriage disintegrating. And Kody railroads Robin and says it's about the big family. That's exactly what he did to Christine on their anniversary trip. Whenever he wants to shirk accountability and it's convenient, then he becomes all about the bigger family. Next, a viewer asks Janelle why she thinks Kody is so angry when he seems like he is getting what he wanted. And Janelle says there was a lot of time when Kody really wanted a big unified family, when they all came together, when they decided to raise the children together as brothers and sisters. So that was really a goal of Kody's for many, many years. So Janelle feels like part of Kody's anger is he sees that family dissolving. And Janelle thinks maybe this is where they were always headed, but Kody maybe just didn't want to admit it. Janelle says Kody was starting to say things like he was tired of shouldering the work. He was tired of being the one who carries these relationships in the family. And there's a scene of Christine saying that Kody told her she was the one breaking up the family. Like it's her fault that the family is breaking up. And Christine says if her relationship with her sister wives is up to her, and it's her fault that she has a bad relationship with her sister wives, she wonders why it isn't Kody's fault if he has a bad relationship with his kids. Ding, ding, ding. Kody says Christine has access to his kids and he doesn't in this scene. And Kody says, when you move a man out of your home, you separate him from the environment that he has experienced with his children. So Kody's making bullshit excuses. And Kody says he has an experience with his children here in this house, in Robin's house, because he is in this house with his children. Exactly. He's present at Robin's house. Was he present at Christine's house? Was he present at Janelle's house? Somehow, I don't think so. Cody goes on with his bullshit. He says, hey, if Robin said, you have to leave, then that would change the dynamic of his entire experience with his children. What's interesting, though, is Christine's kids didn't really feel much of a change from when Cody really stopped coming around during the pandemic to before that, because he was rarely there to begin with. He wasn't present. And when he was there, it was just phoning it in, and it was very disconnected. He wasn't attuned to everyone's needs. It was like Cody had to turn in his homework when he was there. He wasn't really wanting to be there. He wasn't really fully invested. He wasn't attuned to everyone around him when he was in these other homes. Now, when Cody stopped coming around during the pandemic and after that, truly didn't even notice a difference because Cody really was always absent. Cody was really never there. So this idea that Cody was ripped from his home with his children, that Cody was refused access to his kids, that's all bullshit. Even when Cody was local and still married, he was rarely there. And when he was there, he wasn't plugged in. With Robin, he is always there. He is always plugged in. He is always invested. He is always attuned. So yeah, if Cody was actually out of the home with her kids, maybe in that situation, he might actually feel the difference. He might feel the difference, unlike with Christine and her kids, because Cody was never around. Cody is just making bullshit excuses. How many chances did Cody get, by the way, when Christine was still living locally in Flagstaff before she moved away? How many chances did Cody really get? How much time did he have to really see Truly to spend with her when she was local, when she was only just a short drive away? But Cody didn't show up. He didn't take the opportunity. Cody now just wants to blame everyone but himself for the bad relationships he has with his kids, like the man baby and the coward he is. Cody can never take accountability. He would rather blame the mothers of his kids than take accountability himself. And if he took accountability himself, then maybe his kids would actually want to have relationships with him. Next, a viewer asks Janelle when she started to see Christine differently, because in the beginning, Janelle thought Christine was a princess. So when that shifted, and she asks what has made her bond with Christine lasting when the other relationships in the family or with her other sister wives haven't really worked out. And Janelle says, being married to the same man, it makes you run into each other's personalities in a different way. There's friction. You rub up against each other. So when Cody was out of the equation and when the marriages were out of the equation, then Christine and Janelle were able to see everything else. Christine was absolutely there when all of Janelle's kids were growing up. She took care of Janelle's kids as infants all the way up through to high school and beyond. So Christine was home with Janelle's kids when Janelle was out working a lot as the primary breadwinner. And then Christine became the primary caregiver. Janelle says her kids are all very bonded to Christine, and Janelle loves all the kids, but the history and the time and the tears and the sweat and the energy and the blood, it's all been really with Christine's children, and Christine also with Janelle's kids. So in the episode, Janelle explains that it's a plural husband's job to hold the family together. That's his responsibility. And Cody told her he was tired of doing the work. As the plural husband, he was tired of doing the work to hold the family together. And Cody says, when a wife like Janelle undermines your rules, she undermines your ability to actually lead the family. Janelle comments about this. Janelle says that when Cody says undermining, all he means is she doesn't share his same opinion, so therefore she is subversive, and she is labeled as subversive. Janelle explains that it doesn't really matter what her opinion is. He doesn't take anything into account anyway, and she is just supposed to be okay. These are his rules, and she should just acquiesce and bow down and obey those rules. Cody says in the episode that he could be a great leader in the family, and he says he should be in spite of their undermining. But he doesn't have the exposure to the children that the mothers have in this family. So Cody says having the mothers support him would be the thing to do. Janelle says that's a cop-out. She says you can't be the husband in a plural family and say, I don't want to do the work. I want you all to get together so that it becomes easy for me. Janelle says, that's just not how it works. Exactly. Cody regretted his choice of being a plural husband. He felt he didn't want the responsibility anymore. So what he was attempting to do is control everyone in the family, control every aspect of their lives just to make it convenient and easy for him. Cody's convenience is more important, and everyone should sacrifice and live under a dictatorship and be controlled and live under this patriarchy to make the choice he regrets easier and more convenient for him. The feelings of his wives don't matter. The feelings of his kids don't matter. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to control them and squash their voice and squash their light so that it makes it easier for him to live with the choice he regretted, because Cody's selfish and Cody's convenience comes before the well-being, happiness, autonomy, freedom, voice, self-respect, dignity, self-worth of all of his wives and kids. As long as it's convenient, he doesn't care how anyone else feels. Janelle says that she can't be in a full relationship with Cody if he is going to be estranged from her kids. And she says in the clip that it seems wrong. A big part of her relationship with Cody has been the fact that he has been such an engaged father, such a good dad. And now he doesn't want to be that anymore. So she doesn't even know who that guy is. And she asks, who is that guy? She doesn't even know who Cody is anymore. Now, this whole episode, Robin really does look like she is being held hostage. She really looks like she's in a hostage video. She does not want to be there. She glares at Cody. And Robin asks Cody if he wants to be an engaged father. She's spoon-feeding him to try and help his optics. She has to nudge him with her questions. Now, when Robin asks Cody if he wants to be an engaged father, Cody proceeds to blame Janelle. Cody says it would be nice if Janelle would make it easy for him to be engaged, but she separated him from his kids. Robin is pissed at this answer, and Robin glares at Cody, and she tells Cody no, and she coaches him with her question again, and she asks him, do you want to be an engaged father? And Cody responds, of course I do. Of course he does, guys. Cody can't remember all of his kids on Christmas. He can't bother to get them gifts or call them or text them. He can only get Robin's kids gifts and be engaged with them on Christmas. Cody can't be there for major holidays. Cody can't see his kids consistently, but Cody wants to be an engaged father. When Cody gives Robin the right answer, of course I do want to be an engaged father, Robin mumbles under her breath, good, that's what I thought. Robin really looks more dejected and more miserable than I have ever seen her. Robin rolls her eyes, and Cody says he engages his children, especially when they engage him. Cody engages his children if he gets to be a hero and he gets all of the supply and it boosts up his ego and it gets to feel good for him and it's convenient and he's getting everything he needs he's getting the supply to boost up his ego. If it's not anything like that and it's not him all one-sided and him getting all the love and him getting his ego fluffed, then Cody isn't interested. Then it becomes too inconvenient. Cody doesn't want to be inconvenienced. Cody doesn't give a fuck as long as he's getting what he wants, sucking the person dry, sucking their love and their energy out. He doesn't have anything to offer. And once he gets what he wants out of you, or if you won't easily give that supply, he wants nothing to do with you and he will cleave you off. So if Cody's kids want to go to him and kiss his ass and fluff his ego and they want to dote on him, then Cody is more than willing to accept that supply from them. But what is Cody going to give back? Nothing. Robin winces at that, and she doesn't know what will come out of Cody's mouth. You can tell she's on pins and needles this whole time. She doesn't want to be there, and she's just bracing for the verbal diarrhea that might come out of Cody's mouth at any moment. Cody says he tries to engage his kids even when they don't try to engage him. And Cody says if they don't want to engage him, then he trails off. And he says, sure, he probably has some relationship issues with his kids, but he says more than likely a lot of that relationship issue is the representation a mother makes to her children about their father. No, Cody alone is responsible for the relationships with his kids, most of whom are adults. None of the issues come from the moms bad-mouthing him or influencing the kids against him. 100% of the issues between Cody and his kids stem from Cody's neglect, from his selfishness, from his inability to communicate, from his lack of emotional intelligence, from the emotional abuse he puts them through, and from his toxic behavior all the way around. The way Cody behaves has caused the relationship issues. If Cody wants good relationships, he needs to stop blaming the moms for influencing his weak-minded kids against him. His kids are all grown adults now. They think for themselves. Cody really needs to blame himself and take accountability for his past mistakes. He needs to move forward without putting blame on anyone but himself. Cody's relationship issues are because of Cody. They have nothing to do with Janelle or with Christine. He really needs to get them out of his head. They live in his head rent-free. They have moved on. They have beautiful lives. Cody said he wanted to be free from the obstacles to his goals in life. He's fucking free. He has monogamish hell with Robin. He and Robin look more and more miserable every time we see them. Why is that? I thought this is what they wanted. They're supposed to be fucking happy. If Cody just stops blaming everyone around him, and he stops lying to himself, and he stops lying to everyone around him, and he just says the truth and takes accountability, he will feel better. Everyone around him will feel better, and he will look much less like the coward that he is. By the way, if according to Cody, it's all about the representation one parent makes to the child about the other parent, with all the evil Cody perceives Christine and Janelle have done, you would think then that would hinder the children's relationships with their moms if that were true, because they hear all the shit Cody talks about Christine and Janelle, I'm sure. The reality is Cody's kids are all grown adults mostly, and they think for themselves, they hear for themselves, they feel for themselves, they process all for themselves, and their issues with their dad aren't just about how their dad treated their moms. It's about how Cody directly neglected them. It's about how Cody never takes accountability. It's about how Cody blames their moms for his bad relationships. And all of that will only further alienate his kids. It's also about Cody investing fully in Robin's kids and neglecting them at the expense of the whole family. I think Robin even knows that it's time for Cody to take some accountability. Everything wrong in Cody's family and everything wrong in Cody's relationships can't always be everyone else's fault or someone else's fault. He can't just point at someone else. Cody has to realize he is the common denominator in all of this, and maybe he should stop and think about how much of this is actually on him and his behavior. If Cody did that, if Cody took accountability, he would have much better relationships with his kids and with his ex-wives. The reason Cody is so miserable, I feel, is deep down he knows he isn't even being real with himself. I think he knows he is lying. He's lying to himself and he's lying to everyone around him. And he knows he is deflecting and he is trying to spin just to save and uphold his ego. Cody will feel much better if he just lets the ego fall, if he admits his faults, if he takes accountability. And I think people will really respect Cody a lot more as a person if he does take accountability. I mean, does Cody even believe his lies? Seriously, does he believe his lies? Janelle says Cody flips his script a lot depending on where he's at or what he's talking about. He was saying he didn't want her to communicate to his children for him, but then she is also blamed because she is not communicating correctly what he expected her to. So Cody asks during the scene if he is the only one who sees this as a betrayal, that Janelle is going to go be with Christine in this rental house and blah, blah, blah. Now, Janelle leaves at this point and Mary and Robin sit quietly and they don't give any input. Robin makes a face and she laughs and she tells Cody that she and Mary, they just couldn't say anything there. They couldn't weigh in. And Cody asks if it would be because if Robin were favoring him, then that would seem like a betrayal too. And Robin explains that they just had to sit there and they had to be neutral during that Christmas discussion. And Robin says she couldn't gang up on Janelle and she also couldn't gang up on Cody. Robin says it doesn't work in a plural family. ganging up. And Robin says they have to stay out of issues with Cody and a wife. Robin is saying that she and her sister wives had to stay out of issues between Cody and his wife, that would be their private thing. Yet she is the one who pushed that she can speak Cody, that she should be there, involved, helping to mediate situations, playing the family counselor. And we learned from the one-on-one special that Christine even let Robin in at one point because she had everyone convinced that she could speak Cody. Mary always had Robin there to speak to Cody and to speak for Cody. And from day one, Robin was helping Cody string his wives along, giving him the female advice, the supposed female perspective. And we know Robin got involved early on from day one. Remember when Christine packed up Cody's shit and Robin gave him the advice to sleep there anyway, regardless of Christine's wishes, that he not stay there, that he not stay in her room. So it's very convenient now that Robin says, oh, she can't interfere with Cody and his wife. Cody and Robin, their relationship since day one on that honeymoon special. Do you guys remember when Cody said, we, meaning he and Robin, have decided to give them, his other wives, some of what they want, and Robin was advising him on what crumbs to give who, or what this wife maybe needs to hear, what that wife maybe needs to hear? Robin never even really lived plural marriage, and the plural family failed after she joined it. She basically got the experience of plural monogamy from day one. Cody was always more invested in her. And now she wants to point out things that don't work in a plural family that she has done herself, claiming, oh, she never takes sides. She never gangs up on anyone. She never gets involved. But she speaks Cody oh so well. Robin explains to Cody that she can't weigh in between he and another sister wife in their personal relationship. And Cody says he didn't feel betrayed when Robin and Mary didn't weigh in during that, when he asked if he was betrayed. But he says Mary used to weigh in. And Robin points out that Mary has had issues when she does weigh in. What about when Robin weighs in? What about when Robin sticks her goblin nose into things, meddling, interfering unnecessarily? Look at the Christmas sibling gift exchange and what happened when Robin weighed in, when Robin interfered. Look at what happened when Robin gave Cody the worst advice in the world with Christine, that he needed to sleep there in her home, in her room, regardless of Christine packing his things, not wanting him there anymore. There was also a time when Robin interfered in a discussion that some of the older kids and moms were having about some of the older kids maybe joining a youth group of a different denomination from theirs, just so they would meet some kids when they first moved to Vegas. And Robin didn't even have any kids that were involved in this decision. They were all younger. They weren't involved in the youth group conversation. Yet Robin interfered that it wasn't a good idea. The kids' brains, their frontal lobes aren't fully formed yet, so she doesn't want them exposed to other religions, even though this was regarding the older kids. And she was upsetting Maddie, who was already upset, suggesting, well, you shouldn't pick your religion, you shouldn't be exposed, we don't know if this is a good idea, and you're not allowed to pick your religion till your brain is fully formed, your frontal lobe is fully formed, and that's not until this age. And Maddie and some of the other moms were like, what the fuck? Like, we've taught our kids they can pick whatever religion they want, whatever religion they're comfortable with. And it was creating even more stress and even more discomfort and stuff and trauma during the time when they first moved to Vegas, when the kids were just looking for a social group or some friends to hang out with. Robin had to stick in her nose and create even more of a commotion. Robin weighs in a lot, and when she weighs in, it always blows up in her face. We learn a fun fact that Christine now owns a toaster. She said more people died from toasters than from sharks. And so Christine saw that scene, her sister saw that scene, and her sister sent Christine a toaster. Mary says she got so much backlash about the joke about wearing Cody's stupid jacket, and her joke about it would be like he was now hugging her. And Mary says she was just being sarcastic, and she knew at that point where her relationship with Cody stood. There's a clip of Robin wondering if the family was ever real or not. And Janelle says it's interesting how Cody and Robin are saying maybe the family wasn't real. Maybe it was never real. Maybe it was never good. Janelle says it was real and they were good. When Robin came into the family, they were definitely working as a team at that point. Janelle says what you saw in the beginning seasons is what you got. They were really, truly engaged and working hard towards the kids, all being siblings and hanging out together and being one. Janelle admits they had their problems. She says there is a big dynamic with all of these personalities, but they worked hard together for the kids. And at that time when it was working, Cody didn't do this. This person is right. This person is loyal. There wasn't this one person whose opinion or whose loyalty made them stand out from the rest. Right, there wasn't a favorite. For me, I think before Robin came into the family, Cody did his best to be equally invested. And I think he spent his time fairly and equally with all the households and with all the wives and kids. And I think Cody and his wives were all prioritizing the larger family before Robin came into the picture. I really don't think there was a favorite wife who was always the favorite. And I think the family functioned in a more healthy way. I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I do think the family functioned in a healthier way. Robin came in and the 3 OG wives still prioritized the larger family. Robin, of course, prioritized herself and her kids and her husband. And Cody gravitated to Robin where it was convenient, and he began prioritizing himself and Robin and her kids over everyone else and the larger family. Robin was convenient, she was easy, she provided the perfect supply for Cody, and Cody held Robin up to the other wives as a model, as someone to emulate, saying this wife is the best, the most loyal, the most perfect, the most obedient, the most convenient. If you want favor, if you want to feel security, if you want attention from me, if you want me to invest, be more like her. Put away pieces of yourself to become her, to become easy. Give me my supply the way that she does, and then I will participate as a husband and a father. And then you may get more. You're not getting fair and equal. You're not getting what you signed up for when you married me, but you're going to accept it and you're going to give me what I want too, and with a smile on your face. That's what the fuck Cody was saying, and that's what he was doing, and that's what he was acting like. He was only willing to participate with conditions, being a present father and a present husband in the other households. And he was telling these women that they weren't good enough, that they needed to change who they were, that they needed to be more like her, more like the favorite, more like the perfect one, the faultless one, the angel cap in hand. And when they couldn't make themselves small enough, when they couldn't be easy, when they couldn't change themselves and silence their voices and become completely different people to suit this asshole who they are too good for, Cody was absent. That is cruel. That's emotional manipulation and more. Cody stopped being a plural husband. There were 3 wives working towards the family, prioritizing the family, still the OG3, and Cody was going where his ego was fed, where it was convenient for him. And when the wives complained, when they noticed the neglect, when they noticed Cody wasn't the same invested plural husband and father that he was before, when Robin came into the picture, Cody put Robin up on a pedestal, he picked a favorite wife, and he made it obvious. And he preached, become her, be like her. If you want me engaged, be that. Before Cody had a favorite wife, before Robin came into the picture, it worked. It was more functional. But once Robin came in, once Cody had an obvious favorite wife, once he prioritized her and her children, and he made it known to everyone, Robin is above you, top of the totem pole, of course it stopped working. It only works in any type of functional way in a situation like that, and it's still a big if the plural husband makes a conscious effort to be fair and equal across the board. And it does take a lot of effort, probably from the plural husband, to be able to do that and to be able to separate your emotions and be self-aware and be emotionally intelligent enough and be invested enough to take on that responsibility, to make that effort. But if the plural husband is able to try his best to do that, it makes it so it's easier on the wives. It's still very difficult emotionally. There's still a lot of pain and suffering and negative emotions to deal with, but I'm sure it's a lot easier when the husband tries his best to be fair and equal across the board, where there isn't a hierarchy, where there isn't a favorite. That is a recipe for disaster. That's not what the other wives in this plural situation signed up for. Cody decided, fuck it. I'm not gonna make a conscious effort to even try to be fair and equal. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm pissed off that I have to do this. And the second Cody picked a favorite wife, it was over. The second the OG3 were still prioritizing the larger family and Cody prioritized Robin and her kids and himself, it was over. The only way a situation like that is that complicated and that difficult, could ever work in a functional way is if all the wives are on an equal playing field, the husband makes his best effort to be fair and equal with everything, and all the adults in the plural situation probably have to all prioritize the larger family no matter what. It's always about the larger family for everyone. Once one or two people prioritize something else or prioritize each other, of course the whole thing is going to collapse like a house of cards. Christine explains that in the beginning of the family, they were really real. Christine says she loved doing things together and she felt a big family was super important. And she loved her family so much. It was so important to her. And that's why she was so willing to go public with their family. She really thought that what they had as a family was so cool. In the episode, Robin tells Mary that she wants to sit down and ask what she was missing when she first came into the family with them. This is when Robin is really trying to remove the accountability from herself, so she looks like less of the problem in the family disintegration, so that her favoritism isn't brought up as this big topic. She tries to shift blame and say, well, maybe I was deceived. And maybe, there were these big bad things happening in the family before, things that were secrets, things I didn't see, things that were, hidden from me, or I was deceived, or I just didn't see them and they were there. And that's why this family crumbled. She wants to do anything but blame herself or her husband for the disintegration of the family. And she wants to do anything but take accountability in it. So now she wants to say, well, I was deceived. I thought this was a great family and everyone was hiding all this stuff from me and I didn't know and it's not my fault. She wants to take the blame off herself, basically. So she's sitting with Mary asking these questions. It deflects from her accountability and then she gets to play victim too. Oh, Robin wants to know from Mary about the things that she maybe didn't quite understand that were underneath everything when she came into the family. And Robin says the thing with Christine leaving has floored her and she knew that there were issues, but she says every marriage has issues. And she asks Mary if there was stuff she maybe didn't know about or that she wasn't aware of, because of course she wants to blame anyone but herself or her husband. Of course, Robin feels that there was stuff that she didn't know about. I wonder, did the wives know about her financial situation and all of her debt when she came into the family? Robin tells Mary that she didn't know that it was as bad as they were saying it was. She didn't know about it, and she feels stupid that she didn't know how bad everything was. And she also didn't know the issues in the family when she came into it, she's claiming. Now, Cody tells Robin he thinks what happens in a marriage where you are working together and you're trying to do it together, in those kind of marriages that you're forgiving of everything bad. And Cody says he would forget the bad. So when they were breaking up, trudging through the mess, instead of being forgiving of all of the crap that happened, then you bring it all back up. And now all of those forgiven or covered up sins are now there right in your face. Christine felt like they had a lot of honest heart-to-heart conversations when Robin first came into the family. And Christine would say they were completely honest with Robin. And Robin knew about everything, according to Christine. Robin knew that Christine was struggling in her relationship with Mary, and she knew that she was struggling in her relationship with Cody. Robin knew it all. Robin asks Cody what happened, and she says she still doesn't understand. And Cody thinks that it was the one house thing. Of course, it's always COVID, or oh, the one house thing, or oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Any kind of excuse but to put any accountability on him or on his wife. So now Cody is saying it's the one house thing. Cody says that they discussed the one house thing and Christine was adamantly opposed to it. Cody asked Christine why, and he asked Christine the question, why? Why didn't she want to live in this one house? And all of a sudden, all of those sins from the past came out front and center in front of his face, and Cody feels like he got to a point where he just couldn't forgive those sins anymore. And Robin asks who Cody couldn't forgive. And Cody says if they can't be one family, then he got cynical about it. Christine explains that they talked a lot back then. They began going to counseling way back when they lived in Vegas. Christine says Robin is pretending like she didn't know, but she was there in the counseling sessions. Robin knows everything. She always has known about everything. This woman now has financial security. She has a home for her kids. She has legal protection in a legal marriage. She has all of her debts paid off. She gets to live in a home paid for off of the backs of her sister wives. She has the legal wife status and protection. She got a family for her kids. She got a father figure for her kids when they already have a bio dad. So Robin knows everything. And Robin is much smarter than the dumb little me act she tries to play. Robin is conniving. Robin is manipulative. Robin is selfish, just like her soulmate. Robin was well aware of everything when she got involved in this, and she is playing dumb, acting like she was intentionally deceived, like the wool was pulled over her eyes when she joined this family, just so she doesn't have to be one of the people who is to blame for the disintegration of the family. Just so her favoritism and the favoritism her kids receive to the neglect of everyone else isn't brought up, so she can blame the past and everyone's problems in the past that she didn't even know about, rather than taking accountability herself. She can then say, the problems were always there. The problems were there before me. And in fact, I was deceived by this family, so that she can play victim and avoid acknowledging her contribution to this clusterfuck. Janelle explains that when Robin came into the family, then they moved to Vegas, and Cody started to gravitate more and more towards Robin and Robin's house. Janelle says she would hear little things about how Robin was so awesome, and at that point, there was definitely a differentiation made for sure. A distinction between Robin and the other wives. Cody says he doesn't think he considered that because of where they were at the time. They could go ahead, they could be separate families. So Cody felt he wanted to hold on to the family functioning as one, but he could have possibly acknowledged that they could go ahead and be separate families. And Cody wonders where the family would be if he did that way back then. Cody says he couldn't take that maybe he should have accepted it back then and led his family as separate families instead of one. He felt he couldn't take that attitude back then, and he says if he would have taken that attitude, then maybe they'd all be okay now. Delusions. They wouldn't all be okay now. Listen, at the end of the day, no matter what, Cody is still Cody. Cody is still toxic, and whether he acknowledged the separation earlier or not, it wouldn't have changed the way the cookie would inevitably crumble. What's interesting is Cody questions if maybe he had treated it as 4 separate families earlier on rather than one, that maybe the family would have endured. Regardless, no matter what Cody chose to do or how he chose to lead or categorize his family, at the end of the day, Cody is still Cody, and Cody really stopped prioritizing his larger family Instead, he prioritized Robin and her kids. One household over the others. One household mattered more than the others. One household invested in more than the others. One branch rather than one tree. Rather than one family, all treated equally, all invested in equally, all mattering equally to the plural husband and father. The family may not have become so dysfunctional if Cody kept the same priorities when Robin came in the family. Cody's favoritism, the distinction of Robin and her kids, the separation, the elevation of them affected the family, and it really fragmented the family and placed a separation there. Mary says, there has been a lot of speculation into the demise of the family. And she asks, what was the demise of the family? Was it the beginning? Was it Robin bringing her into the family? Was it going public? Was it moving to Las Vegas? All of these things it could have been. Mary doesn't agree that it was any one thing in particular. She thinks that it was a combination of all the things. And also that they all quit wanting to work together as a family. And I think a big part of this is Cody prioritizing Robin and her kids rather than the larger family. Cody can say all day long, oh, when I didn't get this big picture and I didn't get this happy big family, I just gave up. I became resentful. I just quit. But the thing is, Cody is the one who created, who catalyzed, who instigated the separation by elevating one wife and her kids and treating them differently than the rest of the family. So the separation and the fragmenting and the separate branching and the separate households all started with Cody and his favoritism, and Cody, again, not prioritizing the larger family and prioritizing one wife and her kids having a favorite. So Cody is the cause of his family becoming separate entities and not one big happy larger family. It all started when Cody stopped prioritizing his larger family and he started prioritizing a favorite wife. Robin tries to coach Cody some more, and she asks Cody, you don't know, you couldn't put a finger on what ended it for you and Christine? And Cody says the one family thing, that was his goal. And once Christine says she couldn't be one family, he went, well, then it's not working for him with her. And Robin asks Cody, she said I can't be one family? And Cody says Christine was indicating that in every way with rejecting the one house idea. He says Christine was angry about it, and Cody says it got too toxic. And he and Christine, then they started to talk about it in depth to know why. And Christine unraveled Cody's world. Cody says it was just conversations they had. He isn't blaming her. He is just saying that it wasn't working for her. So he started then feeling like this polygamy thing just doesn't work. Robin recalls Cody saying that in the past. Cody says he was suffering from the loss of the vision that he had for their family, and he couldn't recorrect his direction on the vision of his family. Robin says when she got divorced, it was a tough situation, and her most important thing was her kids and feeling like there was a safe family to be a part of. And Robin says in this clip of the episode that when she met Cody's family, she saw them operating as one family. She saw all these different things going on in the family, so it seemed very functional. Robin says she thought this was a safe place for her kids to be through her fake tears. Christine is pissed. She says that's bullshit because it was safe. She explains that Cody got favorites and she's sorry, but Cody got favorites and then she got mad and she got frustrated. And Christine admits she did nag Cody. She did pick at him, absolutely, because she expected more. And of course, she should have expected more from her husband, but Cody just falls short. Christine explains that when you sign up for a plural family, she understands that you're gonna get spread thin as the plural husband. She gets that, but she says you don't pick favorites. A viewer asks Janelle if, knowing how her life is now post Cody, she wishes she would have left sooner and maybe started a new life earlier. And Janelle says for her, it really came down to her kids. She would have stayed if Cody had stayed the father that he was for her kids for many, many years. But when the relationship with the kids broke down, that cost was no longer a factor. Cody says the first 20 years of his family was pretty dysfunctional. And Cody thinks because they wanted to be functional so much, they had a very different attitude about all of it. They were trying so hard that they believed they were functional, but they weren't. That's Cody's assessment. I feel he's rewriting history a little bit. Christine says that clip pisses her off. Cody saying they were dysfunctional. She says they tried, and it doesn't mean they were dysfunctional. They tried. Yes, there were very hard times, but they tried, and they were not dysfunctional back then. I don't think it was easy. I don't think they were the perfect family picket fence, la, 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 no way. But I think the OG3 in the beginning, when they were raising the little ones together, they were very united in the prioritization of the larger family, and they were all about the family. And I don't think it was easy. I don't think it was perfect. I think it was complicated. I think there were fights and personality clashes and difficult times and hard times, but I think they stayed united, and I think that they were pretty functional, and I think they all prioritized the larger family. It wasn't perfect, but it was functional. I think Cody wants to say that it was dysfunctional because if he says it was dysfunctional from the very beginning and he hated it from the very beginning and it was just all a horrible experience from the very beginning, then the blame gets taken off of Robin for Cody picking a favorite because the problems were always there, and maybe her being a favorite exacerbated them, but she having the favorite wasn't a catalyst. Cody didn't act differently or function differently when Robin came into the picture, when we all know he made less effort and spent less time with the other wives and the other kids in the family to meet all of Robin's needs. And he prioritized her, and she was also very needy. He started to neglect everywhere else to meet all of Robin's needs. Oh, Christine is saying that they weren't dysfunctional back then. I think really Cody is only saying that they were always completely dysfunctional is because then he doesn't have to feel the weight and the guilt of everyone and everything that he lost. Also, if he paints it as dysfunctional, he also gets to play the victim. And if there were big problems before Robin, then less emphasis can be taken from her role in the clusterfuck and how the favoritism she and her kids received affected the rest of the family so much. So it's very convenient for Cody to say that. Now, Mary believes that polygamy can work. She believes that it did work in those first years. Someone asks Cody if he still believes in polygamy. Robin doesn't know what to say to that. Predictably, she says she's confused. She's always confused. Just when it suits her, she's so confused. Cody says nature believes in polygamy and his religion still believes in polygamy. So for him, he says polygamy has been something that he failed so badly at that he doesn't believe in polygamy for himself. In the episode rewatch, Janelle is explaining how once Robin entered the family, there was a shakeup, and she doesn't know if things were ever settled again. Christine says they became very separate in the family. They were separated, and the family traditions stopped when Robin came into the family. Cody says that's not true. Cody says the family traditions continued. They adjusted them a little bit, but he says Christine is referring to their Friday night family gatherings, and those ended in Vegas specifically because their older children were busy every single Friday and most Saturday nights. And Robin says, oh, she hated it. It made her so mad that they stopped that. Cody says they're trying to make it look like Robin did it, like it's Robin's fault that everything ended. And Robin says they don't know who she is then. And Cody tells Robin that nobody knows who she is. Is the world wrong, or is Cody the only one who doesn't see it, who's drinking the Kool-Aid? Which one? Is Cody dumb, or is the world wrong? What's more likely? Mary tells Robin in a clip that she feels completely rejected. She knows what their relationship used to be, her relationship with Christine. It was good. It was fun. They laughed a lot. They play a clip of Christine tackling Mary, being playful, having fun. Mary gets that right now she and Christine don't have that relationship anymore, the relationship they used to. And Mary says Christine has said she doesn't want to have a relationship with her ever again. But Mary looks back at the fun moments and she has a lot of good memories with Christine and she misses that. Mary says she will cherish those memories and she feels sad that they won't have those memories again. Mary hopes that Christine really does look back at those moments with at least a little bit of fondness, and Mary says she definitely does. In this clip, Mary and Robin are talking about Christine leaving, and Mary tells Robin that when Christine was telling them she was leaving, she said she didn't want to have a relationship or work on things with them. And Christine clarifies that. She says she told them she needed things to just stay as they are, meaning for right then, in the moment she was in leaving Cody, she didn't need to be working on the relationships or anything. She just wanted things to stay as they were. Now, Christine clarifies that Robin misconstrued it or she misheard it, her saying that she didn't want anything to do with her or her kids. Christine says that's not true, and the most devastating thing about it is Christine now has lost those relationships with Robin's kids because Robin misunderstood the situation. Christine explains that Robin read it like she said she didn't want a relationship with her kids anymore or with her anymore, and Christine clarifies that's just not true. A fan leaves some snark that Mary laughs on the show. She jokes to stop herself from crying. And Mary says that's just not true. She says honestly, she's done a lot of work personally on herself in the past few years. And one of those things is to actually allow herself to cry. So if she is having that emotion, she will allow herself to cry. And if she is laughing, she's just laughing because she thinks it's funny. I think Mary has a very cynical, sarcastic sense of humor. And I think when she's laughing, like when she makes the turkey joke or when she makes the jacket joke about Cody hugging her, she's kind of trolling us and laughing at the situation herself, knowing that we're going to take it seriously too. So in the clip, Mary is talking to Robin and she's explaining how she and Cody are estranged. Robin is disgusting. She is sitting on this couch next to Cody watching the clips back and she is picking away at her eye crud and then she is inspecting her fingers. As Cody says, the struggle he had with Mary was something he was well aware of. He didn't feel like because of the religious aspect that he could leave Mary. So as the plural husband, Cody didn't want the spiritual ramifications on him of leaving a wife. He didn't want to pay that price or have that accountability. But instead, under his religion, it's okay for him to be toxic, be emotionally abusive, be neglectful of his wives, be disrespectful, push them out with the intention of pushing them out so that it could spiritually lay on them that they left their husband. If he's worried about the spiritual ramifications, he just doesn't want them on him. He doesn't give a fuck if they go to his wives, if he believes in that faith. What a fucking idiot. Cody says every time he would get with Mary, the rub between their personalities was so raw for so long that he started to lose hope that they could get it back together. And in the last little bit, every time he would see Mary, he realized he could only do it in small portions of time. And then he came to the realization that he could not ever be in a functional, happy marriage with Mary. There was no way for him. And Cody says it doesn't make Mary bad. It just makes their personalities incompatible. A viewer lets Mary know that Cody just isn't that into her. And she asks Mary if maybe she has been hanging on too long. Mary says she didn't hang on too long because at the point when she and Cody did split, they were both at peace with it. Mary was at peace with it, she says. Mary says that was a good thing, that they were both at a place of peace by the time they actually did separate. Cody feels like if Mary doesn't get bitter after this divorce, then he and Mary can really get along very well still, because he says he's watching this episode right now. And unlike how he feels when he watches Janelle and Christine, he watches Mary and he is seeing the face of somebody he still considers a friend. And Robin tells Cody he just said they don't get along. And Cody says they don't get along because Mary expects so much from him. He says there is so much pressure. Their marriage was so much pressure. And so now with the divorce, after it, he now misses Mary and he thinks about her and he feels she is his friend, but he isn't. A viewer asks how the parents feel that not one kid in the family is interested in living polygamy. Robin thinks it's fine either way. She says it's about their path and what they want. It's not about anything else. And Cody says one of the wives in his family told him once that she wished that none of her children would live plural marriage because she thought it was too hard. I don't blame that wife, and it was probably Christine, and I agree with her. Now, they play the clip of Christine and Cody's lunch, the first time of them seeing each other after Christine moves away. And Cody mentions feeling betrayed and how Christine shit-talked him to his kids. And Christine clarifies this point, that she didn't shit-talk Cody to his kids. Christine explains that Cody's kids talked to her and they were sad and they were frustrated and they wished they had a relationship with their dad. And Christine validated how she felt, and she talked about her heartbreak, and she was heartbroken, and she talked about how she didn't want plural marriage either anyway. Janelle explains that Cody has this thing where he is like, I've done so much, I've sacrificed so much for this relationship. And Janelle feels that that right there is a red flag. Yes. Janelle wonders if Cody feels like he had to sacrifice so much for the relationship, then maybe it's better if it's just over because it's a two-part equation in a marriage. They both were doing the work, he and Christine. But Cody wants to act like he did this Herculean effort for this marriage with Christine, and how dare she betray him? Yeah, do you guys remember that ridiculous dramatic monologue? All the sacrifices I made all these years to love you, and it's like a knife to the kidney. Fuck off with that. Now, all Cody can talk about is his sacrifice, but what about the sacrifices Christine made? Pushing down her wants and needs and what she deserved to be the heart of the Brown family, the primary nurturer and caregiver to the Brown kids. What about Janelle's sacrifice to leave her kids at home with Christine and go out and be the primary breadwinner, sacrificing her paycheck for this whole family? What about those sacrifices? Why does Cody only think about himself? Cody complains about his sacrifices as a plural husband, how hard it was to love Christine, how hard it was to love Janelle. But what about the sacrifices and how hard it was for these women in this situation and how hard it was for them to love a man like him, a man who was incapable of being a decent human and a decent father and a decent husband consistently across the board in all of these households like he promised these women. It's all about Cody's sacrifice. It's all about Cody's ego. But what about the sacrifices these women made to live as plural wives in this plural situation, in this plural family, married to a man who was a complete coward? At this lunch meeting, Cody and Christine are discussing how Christine is going to be bringing the kids to see their dad around Christmas time. And Cody wasn't too happy about that. Cody was very concerned about the Rona and about the kids getting tested first, since Aurora hasn't had COVID yet. And Christine was saying she thought Cody would be so excited about seeing his kids, but instead, Cody brought up the Rona. Of course, Robin reassures Cody that he was just trying to protect Aurora. He wasn't trying to be a bad person. Next, Christine explains how every time Cody got sick, it was like the whole world revolved around his being sick. Mary chuckles and she says Christine isn't wrong. Cody wants Robin to pipe up on this. Cody asks Robin directly if she has anything to say about when he gets sick. Robin's response is that she's laughing her head off. And Cody says when he's sick, it's a total contradiction to what Christine said. I fucking doubt it. We all saw how Cody acted when he had the Rona. Oh, I feel it in my gluteus, blah, blah, blah. I feel it here. Oh, this, oh, that. It's like he was the only man who was ever sick in the history of the world, acting like the sky was fucking falling. Robin laughs, but she says Cody was sick. And according to Robin, Cody is father of the year. He was sick and he kept taking care of kids while she was on her deathbed. Cody kept pushing. And Robin says Cody was working so hard while he was sick that he didn't even know how to lay down and just be sick. I'm not buying it. That's not what the footage showed. Robin says it's weird. She doesn't even know where that comes from with Christine, but she says that isn't her experience with Cody. Next, they play the clip where Christine laughs and she says she isn't married to Cody anymore, and it's so freaking awesome. Robin is speechless, and Cody thinks it's funny how the episode ends with Christine laughing at him, saying she is so glad she isn't married to him anymore. Robin apologizes to Cody that hurt Cody's fifis. Christine says she loves the day she said it was over. She loves that day. She loves taking power. She loves taking control of it. She loved ending their marriage. And Cody says it sucks being in that place with somebody who you used to love, who used to talk well of you, who now sits and trash talks, saying stuff like, I'm so lucky to not be married to him anymore. And Robin defeatedly barely gets out a, yeah. She has not much to say. Christine points out that she really thought that Cody was going to be happy when she said that she was going to bring the kids so that he could see his kids on Thanksgiving Day. And instead, he starts talking about himself again. Cody is all about Cody. It's all about Cody. Robin tells Cody she thinks it was just anger from Christine about everything. And Robin says if Christine had seen how bad Cody was during the Rona, maybe she wouldn't joke. Robin says Cody was beside himself and she has never seen Cody ever like that before. Robin says Cody lost his optimism, and Cody comments that he never got it back. Janelle says it's really weird to watch this because it seems like so much has happened since then, and it seems like it was another lifetime. Christine explains that it's hard to watch yourself, and it's also hard to watch yourself being so vulnerable, but she is proud of the quality. Christine should be proud. She showed her most vulnerable moments. We got to see her in the hardest moments, in some of the most traumatic moments, the most sad, heartbreaking moments of her life. And we also got to see her take back her life, take back her control, take back her freedom, take back her happiness. And we also get to see her find love and find a person who sees her as his equal, who just loves everything about her. And I think that that's amazing. And David and Christine seem very compatible and they seem very much in love. And I look forward to seeing their wedding. And I'm really happy that Christine got her happy fairy tale ending because she really deserves it. And she is the one who made this possible for herself with her own two hands by taking control of her life. So she should be very proud of herself. I think she inspired a lot of women, and it's not easy to be vulnerable and show your worst days to the world. And Christine did it with class. She did it with dignity and with compassion, and she did a beautiful job. And she didn't sit and trash talk anyone the way some other people do. Christine really is so brave. She is so strong, and she really took back her life. She took control of her happiness, and her vulnerability, her openness has probably inspired and encouraged a lot of women who might feel stuck, who might feel hopeless in their own relationships. Christine really should be very, very proud of herself. Janelle says it feels really strange to be able to tell us what is going on in her head when she watches back these episodes. Christine says it's raw. It's the hardest times of their lives. Mary says she is happy to be past it. She is past those past emotions. And Mary says she is also in a much better place physically and emotionally. A viewer asks Christine if she really wants to be friends with Cody. She asks if Christine wouldn't just rather never see him again. And Christine says she and Cody were actually great friends before they got married. And they were even great friends several times throughout their marriage. Christine thinks it would actually be great to be friends again with Cody. Well, that does it for this episode. I'll be back for the next episode of Sister Wives Talk Back, where they watch the finale and comment on it. And then I will also cover any other specials they put out along with Christine and David's wedding special. And when all the specials are over, I'll get back to the rewatch. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday. Have a happy New Year's. Everyone be safe, be happy, be peaceful, be merry. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.